Now, colleagues that you are leaders, and each one of you must have followers not less than 8. If anyone has followers up to 10, one of those people must share off another group, so that you are equal groups. For now, you are leaders just temporary. When you start working in your groups, you can facilitate trace of another chair, if you so wish. If you are power hungry, remain a chair. Tell them, I was appointed chair. And what I want you to do is for groups 1, 2, and 3. Come up with any research topic you have really appointed in your group. And on that research topic, develop slides on the background, problem statements, research objectives, and justification for your study. Develop slides on the background of your study, research problem, objectives, and on objectives you can have objectives or hypotheses depending on your topic. You also have research questions and justification for your study. Monday after next week, you will be required to present the ideas, and your colleagues will critique you. And I'll be part and parcel of your colleagues critiquing you. So that's group 1, 2, and 3. Groups 4, 5, and 6. You also come up with your own research topic which you want to work on, read upon in your book. For you, I want you to focus on the methodology. Right? There are developed 5 to 6 slides. By the way, even the 1, 2, and 3, 5 to 6 slides, not too many. 5 to 6 slides, which you will present here, and your colleagues will critique you Monday after the Monday of next week. That's your assignment. Group leaders, take note of people who are actively participating and those who are not actively participating in groups. Because I'm not giving a second assignment. I'm giving marks on your involvement in those groups, your participation in those groups. I'm going to get marks for that. So if somebody free writes in the group activities, you are free writing on your own theory. Yes. No second assignment. The second assignment is a test. And if you have it, if your group makes it, the first presentation, those marks come to you. But I will also look at the level of participation in each group. So maintain an attendance. Who is attending is not attending. When you are meeting in your groups, I'm sure you are going to go to a democratic discussion when your members join you. So your first assignment is that we have to come up with this topic, but we should agree when we shall be meeting. If you want to change the chairmanship or the chairship, that's up to you. But every time you are going to the meeting, maintain an attendance sheet. And take notes of people's contribution. If somebody is just free riding, Charles must remember attended, but he was a free rider. Hey. So that's our section. It will have to be presented here, but what I'm actually interested in is to see whether the things we'll be talking about in class. Fine? Democracy. Our question is, how are the members going to be allocated these 6 groups? We have the leaders are already known. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the back. Those are the leaders. Temporary leaders. When you meet in your groups, you can change. But how do you decide to be a member of which group? Do you want these people to stand here and just come behind? Do you want to count 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 6, and then one in group 1? The only problem is, although we do that now, the only ratio is this. There are others who are not yet here. Yes? What is the question is that? Okay, is that it? Okay? That we go through the lecture and at the end, we decide. That's it. Any questions on what we talked about last time? Or how to say last Monday, like it was last Monday? Right? We finished our discussions on descriptive research, and we started talking about the experimental research. Any questions on any issues discussed in terms of descriptive research? Any areas of today. So we are very happy when we'll be presenting our methodologies next time. You'll be able to see the research designs and why they have been chosen without problems. Then we started talking about experimental research, where we look at the major characteristics of experimental research. We said that the first main character of experimental research is that the researcher should be able to manipulate the independent variable. And as he or she manipulates the independent variable, should be able to observe the effect of that manipulation on the dependent variable. So that's the second characteristic, or which was said here, is as you change the levels of the independent variable, you want to be observing what is the effect of those changes on the dependent variable. But a very important characteristic is to make sure that as you are doing that, you should control all other variables that may have influence on the dependent variable, so that you can interpret your results without any you can interpret your results without ambiguity. So the issue of control is a very important characteristic of experimental research. Most often, when you are looking at the effects of one variable on the dependent variable, you find that that dependent variable might also be influenced by other variables. And if you are doing an experiment, you want to control those other variables so that their influence is managed, and you can see the influence of your independent variable. they should start up on the week on the end of the semester. This will be on the end of the semester, those people who are good come will not benefit. So ask before they come. Otherwise, we give them 3 months. What is control? Inheritance. When we talk about control, what do we mean? Being able to keep other variables constant. This is just reading from my slide. Who can say it in another way? Who can say it in the way? To demonstrate that you understand what is written there. Control. Anyway, it is the issue of making the other variables constant. The influence of those variables should be the same on the two groups you are comparing. The experimental group, the control group. They must have the same influence. Except for the independent variable, which you actually change. So the influence of the independent variable on the experimental group should be different from its influence on the control group. So that when the independent variable changes, you should be able to say this change is being caused by the independent variable, not the other variables, which would also cause the change. Question? Happen? Manipulation? What is manipulation? In the experimental research, what is yes, sir?
Play with the dependent variable in order to see the magnetic change in the dependent variable.
Okay. The only thing I would replace in your statement is play. I would say change the level of the independent variable. See whether that change influences change on the dependent variable. But well said. Observation? What is observation? Yes, sir. And on that land, there's only one side. What is observation? Notice? No, I don't. Matter what about manipulation in experimental research. When somebody talks about manipulation, what are we? No, observation. What are we talking about? And the way the observation is telling you what to do. Observe. Or being able to observe changes that are occurring on the dependent variable as a result of the changes you have introduced on the independent variable. being able to observe the changes that occur on the dependent variable resulting from the changes you have introduced in the independent variable. Being able to observe the changes that occur in the dependent variable resulting from the changes you have introduced in the independent variable. So we are going to put our variable here. There is a dependent variable, and as the name means, its changes depend on another variable, which is called the independent variable. So in other words, the independent variable is being changed independently, but that must be equal to change on another variable. And that's why it is called dependent. Its changes are depending on the independent variable. Now you as a researcher, you should be able to observe the changes that are occurring on the dependent variable resulting from the changes you have introduced in the independent variable. Do you want to follow?
Yeah.
Okay. You have an experimental group, you have a control group, and you have a treatment or an independent variable X. That's an independent variable you have introduced on the experimental group. And you'll see, you don't introduce that independent variable, you leave it blank. Experimental group, control. Do you have that? If you can allow me to go very fast, you can come back. So those are the things I'm using. So as I'm saying, E represents experimental group. C represents control group. I think you have this slide in your, and then X, I'll call it the treatment. You could also talk about it as independent variable. So that's the variable you are manipulating. And then you want to observe the effect of that your interest is to see that is not equal to y minus yc equal something. It's not equal to 0. So maybe I should say not equal to 0. I'm making sense. So when I'm saying, where I was saying, you as a stager, should be able to do manipulation. I'm saying you should be able to do that and read that. It could be that both YE and YC has X's, but this is X1, this is X2, because they are at different levels. So you have changed the level of X1 and X2. You are still looking for differences in one. So Y is your observation. Very fair. X is manipulation. But you must have C as control. Now when we are talking about the control, what I was saying is that apart from the X, which is your interest, there will be other X's which is playing a role, and we want to control those X's. Let's assume you wanted to assess the impact of small business enterprises on income of people in Zambia. You are doing everything in business, in So in your research, you are asking to say introducing small business enterprises is going to help people in Zambia to increase their income. That would be your hypothesis. But people say, no, we don't think the enterprises are making any difference. So you are saying, okay, because we have that argument, let's do an experiment. Let's divide the people in that way two groups. One group of those people in that way, let's introduce the small business enterprises. And the other group, we don't introduce any small business enterprises. And let's see at the end of 6 months if the income levels of those people who have business enterprises will be higher than the incomes of those who are not from business enterprises. So in that experimental design, you have an Excel, which is very clear again. What the X in this situation now?
The group of people.
It says groups. Anyone? You agree? You don't agree? Wait. Yes? So repeat the question. You have introduced an experiment in Zambia because we are not sure whether the production of small business enterprises is going to help people in Zambia to increase their income. So
be able to answer that question, you must have started with an experiment. Where you have two groups. One group, no business enterprises. Another group, you introduce some business enterprises for them. Your interest is to see at the end of 6 months whether the income levels of those people who are not in business enterprises is going to be different from the income level of those who are on business enterprises. What is your X?
Since X means tricky,
Yes.
so basically our X is like group that will be receiving the tricky.
Yes.
Which is different?
The one
Small
who
business
Small business enterprises is your X. Okay? What is your Y? Why?
Since Y means the level of the variable, so like Y will be a kid lesson receiving the tricky.
The group that is not receiving the treatment.
Since they try to be negative.
What is why? You try. Let's do something else. So level of income. Why? Why do you say so? You are observing the effect of the small business enterprises on income. So why is the level of income? Did you know very well? This is very emotional. And your interest is to see exactly the levels of income for that group which is you introduced small businesses is different from the level of income of those who are not from small business enterprises. Now, on the happy here. Okay. Here is the social weight. And that's how we see that situation. There is improving feeling standing of drug abuse among the young people in the country. And somebody says, if you introduce a psychologist to talk to these young people, this problem is not going. And some people are saying, this is very clever. If you are not explaining an experiment, two groups of young people, one group should be the psychologist to talk to them. Another group should not be the psychologist. And at the end of 2 months, we want to see whether the level of drug abuse will go down among those drug groups interacting with the psychologist. So it's a mixture. But in both cases, the issue is control. Let's go back to the first case, the small business enterprises. Let's assume that at the time you have introduced the small business enterprises, the Ministry of Agriculture also goes to this Zambia community and introduces an irrigation project on growing horticultural crops. Will this affect your drilling there or not? It will. How?
Because you also bring something for the income.
Yes. So, income from the irrigation project can affect your experiment. You might actually be saying, these people who are doing business have increased their income because of the business they produced, when in actual sense, it is because they are also growing cabbages and they are selling those cabbages and making more money. So, as you design your experiment, you must control these other variables which you don't want to confuse you when interpreting your results. And that's what we are talking about as the issue of control. Moses? Okay. Drug abuse, the same. Your psychologist is talking to the youth, but somehow the Ministry of Health, having seen how serious this problem is, has decided to call the parents in examine and have advised them to say, that when you sit down with your children, can you talk to them about this problem so that they change their behavior? So that might also affect your experiment. As you are designing your experiment, make sure you control for such they are called extraneous or confounding variables. Okay? In fact, when you are talking about your research methodology, we have that section where you talk about the research design. If you are doing experimental research, when you are describing the design, the major question which should be at the back of your mind is how am I controlling for extraneous variables or confounding variables. People will critique your research in that area by looking at your ability to control confounding variables. Together? Okay. We have connecting with the so we expect you to say, I will sit with there and you are the ones who are going to teach me that this is how we have controlled for them and there. So all this is what I'm thinking. We must be able to control for the extraneous variables. You need to explain the procedures that you have followed for eliminating the differential effects of your dependent. Differential effects of the extraneous variables on your dependent variables. So that you can be able to discuss the differential effect of your independent variable on the dependent variable without any variation, without undue effect, without confusion. Manipulation, the social workplace has created a situation where one group is going through psychological treatment, another group is not going through psychological treatment. The business guy is creating a situation where one group is undergoing business enterprises. The other group is not going through business enterprises or situation. business guy wants to see art in town. And this should get the sociologist is the interest to see how much reduction in drug abuse is happening. So that's the expectation we are talking about. I'm sure we are all happy now. Now, when you are talking about the experience variables, when you are designing your research, you have to do a lot of thinking about the extraneous variables. Because if you cannot identify them, you are not going to control. You need, as a researcher, to be able to identify the likely confounding variables in your research. These are in the past, and come up with the procedure we take for controlling them. And there are two types of confounding variables. We have variables which may exist even before the experiment itself. And there are variables which can occur in the course of implementing the experiment. So those which occur in the course of implementing the experiment are called situational variables, because they are coming in the experimental situation. And those differences that may be there before the experiment are the ones we can refer to as pre-existing differences. Back to our business studies guide. We want to introduce some small business enterprises to see whether that is going to have effect on the income. But let's assume that the group where you're introducing these small business enterprises is a group composed of vendors who are always doing vending and making money, or shop owners. Now, if you bring them into business, will their experience which they have on vending or running shops not influence the service? Will. They have to think about how to control that. Because if you so happen to have put all those who are not involved in business enterprises, who are not involved in shop owning the ground, in the control group, and you put those who have shops in the experimental group, and then what you produce as strategy because of your small business enterprises, you're going from even before the experiment. What is this? You have created a family situation. You cannot interfere with that behavior. So you have to think about the existing differences carefully in the examining. Questions? Those doing education might be saying that this new technique for teaching music in school kids is a very good technique. those who are saying it is effective, let me test whether that will be the truth. So you have two necessary classes. One necessary are teaching them using the later teaching technique. The other necessary we are teaching them using which new technique of teaching techniques. But before that, we ought to know whether these groups are coming from the form where the values are always sitting quiet in the case. Because that is the case that I actually this is
very good. Okay. Come back to this. If they are pre-existing people, what techniques do you have as a scientist for ensuring that you control them, for ensuring that these differences are made constant in true groups? One technique for doing that is random assignment. You remember when we were talking about something about the simple random selection? So random assignment, we are talking about similar things that slightly different. In sampling, he was selecting subjects from operations using simple random technique, whereby each and every individual has an equal and independent chance in direction. But I'm looking at you because there are others who are also listening to the camera. I don't see there's a camera. I don't know. But somebody is listening and you're making noise. It's hearing the noise instead of hearing you. Simple random assignment is to make sure that the way you assign members to those two groups, the E and the C group, you use the random recognition. So the difference between simple random selection and simple random assignment. Random assignment is assigning them to the groups. Selection is selecting from the population to the sample. You must avoid that. That's why I'm bringing it up. So let's say I was the researcher and you are my subjects, my respondents in this research. My interest is to see a new teaching technique in the research method. Then I decide to break you into two groups. The way I assign each one of you into these two groups must be random. So each one of you should have the same chance of being in the experimental group as the chance of being in the control group. And her chance of being selected into the experimental group should not influence our chance. Independent chance. And that's what we are talking about
either of the place. I don't know whether that is not concerned. Independently, we have the government. You can take it. Our chance of being selected within the element of should not influence our chance of being selected into the element. Her chance should be equal to her chance, but this chance should not affect each other. There are times when we are going to replace the student level, but there are times when we are selecting hard, one group, but I can't select the hard in the same group. There are situations where I go through that, and you see some of those examples. Random assignment must be equal and independent chance. Okay? Yes, sir. That's all we do. Okay, look at it. So that where is the issue? I'm really conforming to the yes, what is the confusion?
You say high chance of being selected into the experiment school should not influence the chance of being
Yes.
So, for example, the way this is right now, or we're doing random assignment.
Yeah, random assignment.
Okay, with the way they're doing, for example, start with the class that people will experiment. And then it meant it's going to be hard for you to select that also going
That's a very good example of achieving. The fact that I said was just like this, and if I decide to say she is going to experiment with you, and because she's going to experiment with you, she has to go to the control room. I have used it, I can't say it's going to be experiment. That's what I'm talking about. Had a chance of going through the experiment, not a thing. She should be really able to do it. Also, going to the experiment or the control room. If she ends in the control room, it's not because she has to go in the experiment. No.
So if she ends in the control room, that means you have to use random selection.
Yes.
For example, since there should be between the A and B, so you take down people to see the
That's the best example. If we look at people from the papers here and just say 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. What did they do?